how do we create the future that we want? How do we ensure success down the line? How do we create something extraordinary in our present, in our future? I'm sure these are questions that you have thought about in your life. I mean, a lot of personal development, personal growth, videos like this, books, articles, all of that stems out of this idea of we can shape a better future. You can shape a better future for yourself, and that's what this video is about. I'm going to walk you through the foundation, the framework for all of that. How can we think big picture? Zoom out when we need to make important decisions and ensure that we're on the path to creating a great future, a future that you want for your life. Not one that's going to make you miserable, that you're going to complain about, that's going to make you sad and filled with regret, but one which is filled with joy and excitement and enthusiasm. How do you create that future for yourself? The framework I want to walk you through here is called possibility streams. The idea here is that we all have a past in the three-dimensional world that we're currently in, what we know right now. We all have a past, something behind us. And the past is very much linear as represented here. The past is linear, as in it's already happened. You can't go to a betting place and bet on the past, bet on yesterday's sports game, bet on the horse racing the other week. It's already happened. It's linear, as is the present moment. You watching this right now, hearing me say these words, me recording this video for you. Present moment is happening right now. It's all around us, and it's present, it's linear, it's already happening as we speak. The future, on the other hand, is not. It's not linear. Otherwise, it has many different paths. There are many different possibilities for what can happen 1 hour from now, 1 day from now, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 1 decade from now. There are so many different possibilities of what can happen. And these are called possibility streams. Like you're going down a river and you reach a point where there's a lot of different paths that will take you in different directions. That's what we're in every moment of our lives. The past is linear, it's behind us, yet the future has endless possibilities. Which means irrelevant of where you are right now, the first key insight here is that the future has many different possibilities. I'll explain why future stays the same for a lot of people in just a moment. But the first idea, there are many different possibilities. Some of them which you want, and some of them which you don't want. Which means, let me ask you this, is there a possibility that you'll walk out into the street next week or next month and you might get hit by a car? A negative possibility, I'm assuming, that you don't want. Is it a possibility? Yes. Is it likely? No. But is it a possibility? Yes. Is there a possibility that you're going to meet someone who can alter your life in some way in the next day, week, month, year? Is it possible? Yes. It's likely. Is it likely? Maybe, perhaps. Depends on your situation, on your circumstances, but it's a possibility that can happen, that can alter your life in a new direction. Is there a possibility that you'll be fit and healthy in the future? Is it possible? If, let's say, you're overweight right now, you may say, man, no, it's not possible. I'm always going to be overweight. And I get caught up in a lot of thinking. That's what a lot of coaching work that I do is around mindset. It's around this idea of we get stuck in these limiting beliefs that hold us back. Is it possible, though, for you to be fit and healthy, for you to have the body that you love? Is that a possibility, even if you're overweight right now? Let me put it in this way. Let me reframe it. If someone put a gun to your head or said, I'll give you $1 million if, one of those types of questions, you lost the weight that you wanted to lose and became fit and healthy, could you do it? Yes, which means the possibility exists. Does the possibility exist for financial freedom, independence, for huge financial wealth and accumulation, distribution? There's the possibility, on the other hand, let's say over here, that you lose a loved one, that you lose a job, that your career goes south, some bad business move, bad investment, something happens. Are these possibilities? Yes, and they all exist simultaneously. Hundreds, thousands, because of how many variables there are in life, how many people there are with different beliefs merging all into this one world that we're living in. There are so many different possibilities. Again, some of which we want, some of which we don't want. How do we ensure that we get the things that we want then? How do we create the things that will bring us energy, will bring us excitement, will bring us happiness in our lives, will bring us fulfillment, deep fulfillment in our lives. How do we ensure that's the case? Well, firstly, a lot of people spend their attention over here. The first big understanding is how we place our attention is often what we'll create in our future. A lot of people aren't focusing on this or even this. They're focusing back here. You see, you may have heard, don't complain, don't blame, don't whine about the future, don't talk about what should have or could have or would have been. Don't complain about the past. Hence, I've seen this in videos of people passing this along in books and articles and all this, but they rarely explain why. You see, the idea is when you're complaining about the future, about the past, when you're complaining about it, you're taking energy away from your future. It's imagine you had a garden, and in your garden you had weeds, and in your garden you had plants that need nurturing to grow into beautiful plants or fruits or vegetables or whatever. And you're focused, you're complaining, you're looking at the weeds and you're complaining at the weeds all the time. And while you're complaining at the weeds, you're not looking at and looking after the plants which need your attention, your energy, your nurturing to grow. Need water, need everything that you need to provide them, the soil around, etc. That's why we shouldn't complain. That's why we shouldn't focus our attention over here. The past has already happened. And a lot of people get caught up in thinking about the past, about complaining about what's already happened when it's outside their control. It's already happened. You can't change it. That's what we know. It's a universal truth about the past. That we can't change it. It's already happened. We can learn from it. We can use it as fuel, but we can't change it, which means we shouldn't complain about it. Because when we're complaining over here, when our attention is over here, our attention isn't over here. And that's how people create the same future over and over. When people are constantly living in the present, but they're reminded so often about their past. Their social media reminds them of the past. Their Facebook feed, their YouTube feed, their articles they read, the friends they hang out with, constantly complaining about things around them, complaining about the past. All of this is drawing them back into thinking about this, and people spend a huge amount of their time thinking about what should have or would have or they wish could happen in the past. They spend time here, and again, when you're spending time here, you're not spending your time here on thinking about the things that you want. So we need to break these connections. We need to stop thinking, remind ourselves when we start complaining, when we start to dwell on what happened in the past here, remind ourselves and snap out of it and move to, what did I want to create tomorrow, next week, next month? How can I enjoy right now and focus our attention on the present and on the future instead of complaining and dwelling on the past? The second place people put their attention is they either put it here on the past or they put it here on the things they don't want. People ask them like, hey, what do you want in your life? What do you want to happen in this situation? They instantly start thinking, oh, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Even when they're asked, what do you want? I've seen it. I've seen it in my own life where I've dwelled on things in the past and this, and I've had to catch myself and snap out of it. I've seen it in friends and family and customers and clients all around the world that I've had the privilege of sharing knowledge with, interacting with, working with, teaching, whatever it is, coaching. I've seen this over and over. So the second place they pay attention to is things that they don't want. We think about all the things that we don't want. We place our energy over here on things we don't want. And because we're so focused on this direction, it's almost like a car. You're driving a car and this is the direction. This is the direction that you've set for yourself, and you just start driving. The navigation guides you that way. Your mindset, conscious and subconscious and unconscious, guides you in this direction because you're always thinking about it. So either we want to draw attention out of here, we want to draw our attention, our energy, our thoughts, our thinking out of these places and focus it over here. Focus it on the things that we want. Focus it on the things that will bring us joy, happiness, fulfillment in our lives. When we catch ourselves complaining, think about what we want. When we catch ourselves thinking about things we don't want, think about what else do we want to create. Are we on track? That's number one. When we place our energy, our attention, our thinking, we'll create the future that we want. There are literally hundreds and thousands of studies that show about how our thinking, our beliefs, our mindset shapes the world around us. And you can read about it, you can research it, you can find it in books. So many books, articles, everything about that shows and continues to show us how our thinking creates our future. And when we focus on the things that we want, now we're primed to create that, to take different decisions, to make different actions, to choose different choices. And that's what brings us on to the next thing. The first thing is about attention. The second thing is, this is a framework for making decisions. Because you see, while all these possibilities exist, the things that you want, your biggest aspirations and dreams exist for you, it's a possibility. And the things that you don't want, the terrible things that could happen, they also exist there. They could happen as well. But all these things operate on a different probability, which means it may be likely that you go to the gym every day, if that's something that's already been part of your habit, and you go and get more and more fit and healthy. That may be very likely right now based on your previous actions and thoughts and decisions. Being hit by a car example, that's probably unlikely. And the whole reason why you're watching this video, why we read, why we learn, why we take advice from people, is to ensure the outcomes we want. For example, before crossing a road, looking and listening to the advice of look left and look right, check for cars, that is a piece of advice, it's a piece of wisdom, a piece of knowledge, as simple as it is, which ensures a future, or doesn't guarantee it, but ensures and increases the probability of a future in which you'll have legs to be able to walk with, while decreasing the odds of you being hit by a car and being in a wheelchair. It increases the odds of things happening and things don't. In that same way, listening to this content, reading books, educating yourself, listening to audiobooks while you drive to work or to your career, to your business, whatever it is, all of that ensures a future that you want. Learning key skills, making decisions, going to the gym, meditating, all these practices ensure a future you want and reduce the odds of future which you don't want. Maybe it's depression, maybe it's feeling loneliness and sadness like a lot of people do in the world today. It increases the probability of things we want and doesn't. Hence, this is a big zoom out when you have big decisions to make, when you're looking at how you're scheduling your time, when you're looking at what you're creating about on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis. Look at this as the big picture and you know, hey, these are the things I want. These are the things that I want to create in my future. Are my actions mapping to that? Are my actions right now in the present moment mapping towards that? Are they increasing the likelihood of me getting the things I want? Are you exercising? Are you meditating? Are you doing the things that you know are going to create the results for you? Or are you doing things which are going to bring you in this direction? And the final understanding here is that where we're going, the trajectory you're on, is so much more important than where you are. It doesn't matter if you're overweight, if you're broke, if you're not having the relationship success you want. We all have these ups and downs in life. It doesn't matter where you are here in this present moment, even if things aren't working out for you, even if it feels like you fell flat on your face and you don't want to get back up and you're giving up on the things that you wanted. Even if that's where you are right now, if you keep going and you make new decisions, you can create a new future for yourself. If you keep going from this point, it doesn't matter if that's where you are right now, if you're on the right trajectory, you'll get there. Much rather would be someone who's, let's say, overweight. It's an easy example. I would rather be overweight but having daily exercise as part of my routine and good healthy eating habits. I would much rather be overweight right now in the present but have that good trajectory that increases the likelihood of health and vitality in the future than I would to be very fit and very healthy in the present but eating cake for breakfast and not exercising and all this. I'd rather be in a bad situation with a good trajectory than in a good situation with a bad trajectory, of a trajectory that's leading me to things I don't want. I'm sure it's likely for you the same. So it doesn't matter where you are right now. No, these possibilities exist. Where you place your attention will create the future that you want. Take it out of here, and put it in the present moment for joy, for happiness, and into the future for future joy, happiness, achievement, growth, That's number one. Number two, likelihood, probability of these things happening. You can increase the probability of, let's say, meeting someone that's going to change your life by gaining networking skills. You can increase the probability of getting a promotion at work by increasing some of your skills and your knowledge about the area. You can increase your probability of living longer, of being healthy by going to the gym, by getting a personal trainer, whatever it is. We can increase our probability of these things happening through our actions. And then third key understanding here is it doesn't matter where you are, what matters is your trajectory. So make sure, even if you're not where you want to be right now, make sure you're on the right trajectory, you're on the right path. Make sure you're going up. Even if you're down here, make sure you're going up through your actions, because that's what creates a better future. I hope you got value from this. Use this as a decision-making framework to go out there into your life and create an extraordinary future that you'll look back on in the future with pride. You'll be proud of what you accomplished. Go out there, create that. If you like this video, like it, comment, share it out with other people that you think will find this useful as well. And use this framework, use these key points here to create an incredible future for yourself, people around you, and the world.